So tomorrow, get ready for some Yankee baseball. The 2019 Major League Baseball season underway officially for the New York Yankees, who would do it in style on the home turf at that big ballpark in the Bronx. As the one-time pioneer and legendary sports talk radio host in New York City, Art Rush Jr. used to stay. May he rest in peace. Meanwhile, the Yankees are hoping that the 2019 season is one where they are alive and well and firing on all cylinders. The Bombers, they recorded 100 wins last year as they slugged a big league record 267 home runs, but in the end, not enough. The Yankees fall to the Red Sox in the ALDS, and the Red Sox, of course, it still pains me to say this. Let me take a deep breath. I hate saying it. Would go on to win the World Series. The Yankees are hoping that they're able to do so this year and claim their 28th World Championship in franchise history. That quest for 28 begins tomorrow in the Bronx. Temperatures, a snowless opening day. The New Yorkers will take that. It's supposed to be relatively nice. A little sunshine, 55 degrees. Tanaka will take the ball for the Yankees as the starter. 4 starts in his career in opening days for the Bombers. Hasn't done too well. ERA hovering around 10. He's been shellacked on opening day. Officially 0-2. But hey, everyone gets a fresh start on opening day. Yankees, meanwhile, will have to do without Luis Severino, who would have made the start. He is their ace. He's got inflammation in the throwing shoulder. The Yankees very much taking the precautionary measures with Luis Sev. He remains in Tampa indefinitely. Aaron Boone was quoted as saying this week that he's hopeful he can resume some baseball activity this weekend. Until then, Tanaka will be the number one. Yanks will go with the big maple, the big off-season signing of James Paxton, a guy who at just about 30 years old, coming off a banner year for him. He's got plenty of big league experience, threw a no-hitter last year. He's expected to be a genuine ace. Behind him, J.A. Happ, we know his story. Came over last year in the trade with the Blue Jays. A veteran who's a stable, steady Eddie kind of guy as a lefty. 7-0 after coming over to the Yankees in the trade. In the playoffs. But he was a real lift to the Bronx Bombers in the home stretch. And he's a very reliable guy. So I like what they've done with kind of the patchwork until you get CC back. CC, of course, with the knee problems, got that cleaned up in the offseason. Also got a heart issue, surgery on that. He's supposed to be rearing, ready to go for what is expected to be. He said he's going to hang him up and retire after the season, his last in the big leagues. CC going to start the season on the active roster, serving that 5-game suspension for that beanball incident late in the season last year. So he'll start actively to serve the 5 games, and he'll go on the DL. Yanks expect to have him in a couple of weeks. Meanwhile, Dylan Pastancis will start the season on the injured list as well. Aaron Boone expecting him to resume baseball activity. He has a sore arm come this weekend. So the Yanks will get their full allotment of pitchers back, hopefully sooner than later. Until then, the bullpen as good as it gets. Aroldis Chapman says he's A-okay. No more knee problems. 32 saves last year, was hindered by the knee. He was still lights out more often than not. Another guy the Yanks will rely on is righty Adam Ottavino. Takes over for David Robinson, who goes to the Philadelphia Phillies in free agency. Ottavino, a New York City born and raised kid. 6'5" righty, 112 strikeouts in a career year for Colorado last year and 77-plus innings. Expected to be a dominant presence out of the bullpen for the Yanks. Zach Britton re-signs, a guy who at one time was one of the dominant closers in baseball. 5-6 years ago, he was saving 46 games for the Baltimore Orioles. Had the Achilles tendon issue. Knocked him out for most of last season. Came back with the O's, traded to the Yankees, 7 games, limited appearances, some ups, downs, but in the end, he started finding himself, and what a valuable guy to have in that bullpen. You throw him in again with a healthy Pastancis, Chad Green, another guy with another year experience, nasty stuff. Tommy Kahnle, a guy who I like a lot. I know he's in his second tour of duties with the Yankees, and he's had some ups and downs as well, but it looks like he has found himself, and he's got great stuff when he is on. So the Yankees have the bullpen. The starting pitching will come around. Some injuries in the lineup, okay? Let's take a look at that starting lineup tomorrow, and let's go through it a little bit. Brett Gardner will start in center field because Aaron Hicks signed a big contract extension for the Yankees. Starts the season with back issues on the disabled list. It's indefinite. Hoping for the best with Hicks, who's had some, history with derailing injuries. Second, the Yanks are going to go with Aaron Judge in right field. Stanton's going to play left as Gardy shifts over to compensate for Hicks. Boone says Stanton will be the left fielder for the majority of the time till Hicks gets healthy. Voit makes the roster with Bird. They both had excellent spring training. Voigt's going to DH. How about that? They expect Miguel Andujar to hit fifth a lot of the time at third base. Almost the rookie of the year I thought he should have been last year instead of Ohtani on the Angels. Sanchez looking for a monster bounce-back year. Will bat sixth. There you go with Bird, seventh. Troy Tulowitzki. That's going to be interesting. As Tulo, after 2 seasons with injuries, forced him out. He had multiple surgeries on his heels last year. That's got to be painful. Wasn't able to play. Played all of 86 games the year before. For the Blue Jays, they cut him loose. The Yanks pick him up for the minimum. Good find there. 290 career hitter with over 240 home runs, primarily his best days as a Colorado Rocky. He will take over for Didi, who's not expected to be back after that Tommy John surgery, at least until late May at the best, maybe mid-June. So who knows with Didi. But if Tulo can be healthy for the Yankees, what a find that would be. This is a guy who's got a chip on his shoulder. He's a hard ass, and he's a good ball player. He's got a lot of fire in his belly, and I'm excited to see him out there. Torres, Gleyber finished third in the Rookie of the Year voting, will be 9th in the order, and watch for him. He could win a batting title this year. This team is stocked. DJ LeMahieu comes over from Colorado, a former Gold Glove second baseman. He'll get spot duty all over the place for the Yankees and be the jack of all trades utility guy. Love having him there. Another guy who's around the career 300 hitter, batted 348 a couple of years ago. You got Austin Romine, who will do a nice job as the backup catcher for the Yankees. So there is some depth, some versatility. I like what I see. Of course I do. Over under, Vegas likes what they see, 97. What do I say? I say take the over. Yanks won 100 last year, and they weren't quite firing on all cylinders. Now that team, they bonded, they meshed, they went through a lot last year in winning 100 games. Stanton has a year of New York under his belt. Be primed for what should be a monster season with him and Judge. Could be 100 home runs combined, maybe more between the both of them. Of course, the key is always pitching and defense. There's plenty of defense on this team. Up the middle, it's as good as you get. If Tulo's healthy, Gleyber can field. When Tulo's out, Gleyber can scoot over and play shortstop. And the rumors have been that he's been sensational. About 50-50 shortstop and second base in spring. And then DJ, a Gold Glove second baseman, as I mentioned, slide over to second. So you've got 2 guys at first base. Voit, I don't think by any stretch was a fluke. I think he's a real deal. I think he found the home. I love the attitude. Bird, we've expected so much, especially yours truly. I've always been a big fan. Just a sweet stroke on the left side with that right field porch. It's appetizing, right? It's like finding a cold glass of ice water in the Sahara. It's that tempting, that swing. If he can stay healthy and get in a groove, he can be some Yankee. So you've got a nice mix at first base. Again, solid depth, Some guys who are injured are expected to come back much sooner than later, and imagine what that's going to do. I know it's going to be tough with the defending world champion Red Sox. Tampa's a team to watch out for as well. You never know with the Jays, the Orioles. I know it's the reset button over and over and over again. But the AL East is going to be tough. And then, of course, you'll look out across the horizon in the American League, and you've got some loaded squads, again, with the Indians and Astros. So the landscape is going to be tough. And for the Yankees, they will need that consistent pitching. The bullpen, again, fabulous. The starting pitching, some question marks. We'll see what the Yankees can do. Will be very interesting. Who knows? Maybe a guy like Gio Gonzalez, who they pick up just last week, won 127 games against 95 losses. He's only 33, and he's developed a cut fastball, they said, from down here in Hialeah, Florida. He's won as many as 21 games in the big leagues. He's been a Cy Young. He's coming, third in the voting for the Cy Young. So the guy has had flashes of brilliance. We'll see. Maybe a guy like that pops onto the radar and gives the Yankees a lift where you might not expect it. So my point is this. What you start with in April, you never end with in October. But the core of the team needs to be there, and you need to have defense up the middle, pitching, timely hitting, and those home runs. The Yankees on paper look like a world champion. But until you go play 162 and get the job done in October, doesn't mean anything. But I think the quest for 28, the Yankees are going to put a serious charge into it. By the way, I want to thank you so much for watching this Yankees preview. I'm going to go ahead and do a Yankees baseball report every week this season. So please go ahead and subscribe to the station. And also go check out the website, 954sports.com. I'm Matt Levine saying enjoy this 2019 Yankees baseball season and opening day tomorrow from the big ballpark in the Bronx.